Hey everyone, this is Ron McKinney. Going to show you a sample of how I can take a image of somebody that I shot, just in my studio with a black background and put them into a color powder setting as if they had done a color powder shoot to begin with. That's one of the beauties of purchasing our overlays, is to not just like add the powder to something you've already created with color powder, but gives you the freedom to artistically create a color powder shoot when you actually didn't even shoot one. So the first thing I'm going to do here is select the subject. This is Ricky here, and it does a pretty good job there, but I need to go in a lot tighter and just be sure everything is selected as it should be. There's a lot of forgiveness that's allowed when you're doing these sorts of things, because you can hide a lot of stuff with the powder, but I still want it to be as good as it can be, so I don't have to hide unless I absolutely have to. So you can see I'm just doing a little bit better job just grabbing everything. There we go. And get a little bit there and a little bit there. We're still missing a little bit here. There we go. All right, there we go. Whoops, don't want to do that. Okay, so I'm going to come up here, be sure we have everything here. There we go. Everything looks good there. The fingers are often missing on these. Go down. Ricky's a fabulous dancer that I've worked with a number of times over the years. And you can also mask this if you want. I'm trying to do this pretty much as quickly as possible to just use this as a sample of how it can be done. But like if you just do the select and mask, you can actually get a little more refined selection. But that's in pretty good shape right there. And I'm ready to go. So we're simply going to copy this now. That was off to the side, you couldn't quite see it, but all I did was just copy it. And we're going to take this image here and put them in there. So there he is. We're going to bring him down so he fits better into here. Next up, we're going to add a little, there we go. I'm going to use this overlay here. This is an overlay with some powder that was kicked up into the air, and with this foot going up like that, I think it's a very good option for this. So I'm just duplicating the layer onto this one here. And what I do now is, you can see it kind of ends here at the top. So I want this to be, at the very top. This can be, brought in a little bit if I want to. I want you to know, like, when you get these overlays, you have the freedom to kind of like change them up any way that you want to, okay? And so now another thing that I like to do too is create a a layer like this, and then what I'm going to do, or sometimes what I do is I'll dupe this one here. This is one of the things I really like. So I'm going to dupe the background layer, and then I'm going to take the burn tool here, and it's going to be really soft because, you know, like the light is not very hard. The exposure is at 29%, and then you have to decide, okay, are we doing shadows, midtones? What are we doing? And what I'm doing now is I'm just going to I'm trying to put this in so it looks like there's the shadow of him being there, okay? And so a little bit on the mid-tones and then a little bit more in the shadows to really like fit the thing. And there should be like a fall off, so, you know, as you do this, it's not all going to be like the same. You can decide, oh, look at his foot, you know, you may decide for yourself that foot should be darkened, and you can actually go right into here and just darken the foot so it kind of blends in a little bit more. That's, you know, a pretty good start right there. And just in a few minutes, here I am. I have created this right here, and you can mask this now and decide, you know, and make it so it blends in a little bit more with the foot. You can also say, oh, you know what, I want the foot on this side here, and you simply change the layers to where he is, the dancer is in relation to the color powder, and you can put them on that side. But a lot of times, you know, like what I'll do is I'll take this powder here, and now I'm going to mask a little bit. I'm using a very soft brush, and what I can do is I can change the flow. Like right now it's at 29%, and there, now we see the complete outline of his leg, of his foot there, you know, but I may say, oh, no, I want a little bit more, or I may want it just like that. And so there it is. In just a few minutes, we've been able to just set this up. But now I want to show you something a little bit different, okay? So let's just say that instead of using this background, we decide to take him, and I'm just going to make this just to speed the process up. I'm going to take these two here, and we're going to go layer, duplicate layers, and put it into this other background that I have. And here he is. Now, it looks like a complete, so far, mess. It doesn't really make any sense. The first thing I'm going to do is grab Ricky. I'm going to put him in this spot about right there. That looks pretty good. And he's actually, you know, he's sized pretty proportionately for what I'm trying to do. But if you notice now, you know, it's purple, but that doesn't really make any sense for what we're doing. And this is one of the things I really want you to be able to understand, is that you can take these layers and just change the color of them quite easily. You know, I'm sure there's a lot of people who have ways of doing it, but for me, the fastest way of doing it is simply go to admission or image adjustments and simply going to the hue, saturation, and then what I'm going to do is just look for a pretty good match for this, and that's about it right there. And now you can see that it's a really good match. And so I'm going to take it there. Whenever I make those changes, I often will like rename the color of that right there. Like you can take this layer and duplicate it, you know, over to a new one, and you can create a new ping file, you know, or just copy it. There's so many different ways of doing this. Now, if you notice, we got like a hole right here, and so, you know, I made it a little bit. I think I made it smaller in the last one. We're gonna take this one here. I'm using my Shift key right now, just bringing it down to about right there. And now, if you notice, there's going to be black on here. These things are going to be imperfect. They're not meant to be exactly perfect when you use these. So I'm going to shift this over. I'm still at 29% on my flow, just so I can get it to blend in. And there it is. It's blending in quite nicely. The black is gone. You know, like if I sit here and I say, okay, I want this this hole to be filled, you know, if the mask hasn't removed that area, I can just take something like this right here, copy and paste it over, and I can fill this hole here, you know, even better. And so there you have that right there. And now let's say, oh my gosh, look at his foot though. This just doesn't make any sense. Actually, I want to bring this a little bit closer to him, and I want that all the way at the top. There we go. That actually works really well. But you can see his foot is just like hanging there. And one of the really nice things about doing something like this, and again, you can choose whether you want to get this foot, you know, just show it a little bit more. You know, so now you can see the outline of his foot, and it almost looks like the powder is coming out to both sides of him. There's so many different options, so many things you can do differently every time you edit these things. But now we need it. The foot is wrong, right? And that's the beauty of color powder, is that sometimes, you know, when I take, especially my younger dancers, I say, oh, you know, I don't edit technique, you know, I don't fix technique, but with color powder, you can hide, you know, technical errors. So I'm gonna grab this right here, and what I'm gonna do is kind of just go through this here, and I'm just gonna grab it, and now I'm going to edit, copy it, edit, paste. So here it is, this part that I just took, and now I'm going to reverse it, just so, you know, like when you reverse it, it's a little bit harder to tell that you just took it, okay? And now I'm going to spin it around a little bit, and, oops, not quite done there. And then you kind of decide where it really like fits in, especially like in terms of hiding the foot. So let's bring this over so I don't have to mess with that. You know, you don't have to keep it the same size. You can kind of move things around however you want. Okay, so there we go. I'm going to throw a mask on this again. There we go. Still at 29%. Sometimes, you know, to me, I like keeping the flow down onto that, because it just kind of helps things like blend in here. But you know, like if you have those hard edges here, we've got to get rid of the hard edges. You know, you can decide whether you're, again, you know, like you can take this right here and put it behind him, you know, but of course that's defeats the purpose of what we're trying to do here. We're trying to hide his foot there, so you can't tell that I've just added it in there. And so now you can decide to show how, you know, how much of his foot that you want to. You know, you may want to show more, but a lot of times in these cases, you know, less is more. You know, so the more you show the foot, you know, like there it is. So I'm showing like the upper part, you know, starting with the ankle going up, and then I can, you know, just knock out however much I want, and there it is. The foot is lost into there, and, you know, in essence, you know, this looks like he's in this scene, and that's how easy it is. How long did this take us? Just a couple of minutes. You know, obviously you can do it more sophisticated if you want, or whatever. You know, you can clean things up. Like, for example, you can see a little hole here that matches that little hole there, and that kind of, I don't know. I don't like things to like get my attention like that, so sometimes I just do something like that and I fix the hole. I can do the same thing over here with this one. Just simply boom, boom. And there it is. Again, you know, like the important thing is to know that these overlays, you know, aren't always necessarily meant to be perfect. Or, you know, and you have to take it and adjust it accordingly to, you know, to the image that you're working with, and just finding a way to make it work. All right. Thank you.